Morning, everybody. I'm back with a second book talk. This book is quite different from the first book talk that I shared with you. This is a nonfiction book that we just got in. It's a gripping, true story of one girl's survival account of the Holocaust. And the title is My Survival, A Girl on Schindler's List by Rena Finder. It's hard for me to explain how important this book is in my own words. It was a gripping book. I read it in about 2 days. I cannot recommend it highly enough, especially if you're studying that time period in history in the world. But I do think this should be required reading for everybody. I would like to just share a little bit from the book for you. One person with courage to stand up for the innocent can make a big difference. I should know. I'm alive thanks to someone who refused to stand by and do nothing. His name was Oskar Schindler. Rena Finder was only 11 years old when the Nazis forced her and her family, along with all the other Jewish citizens, into a ghetto in Poland. Rena worked as a slave laborer with scarcely any food and watched as friends and family were sent away, never to return. Then Rena and her mother became among the nearly 1,200 Jewish men and women placed on something called Schindler's List. This was a real list. Oskar Schindler, a sympathetic German businessman, engaged them as workers in his factory, where he kept them fed and healthy. But Rena's nightmares were not over. She, her mother, and many of Schindler's other workers were deported to the death camp Auschwitz. With great courage and cunning, it was Schindler who would ultimately get them released. Here, in her own words, is Rena's gripping story of survival, perseverance, tragedy, and hope, including pictures from Rena's personal collection and from the time period. This unforgettable memoir introduces young readers to an astounding and necessary piece of history. Like I say, I really can't recommend it enough. There's also photographs in the back to go along with the story. I did want to read you quickly her closing thoughts because I think this is really important. Closing thoughts, and this is by the author. During those terrible years when millions of Jews and others suffered and died under Nazi rule, many government leaders around the world knew what was happening. People who had escaped from concentration camps brought evidence of the atrocities, first-hand reports, sometimes even photographs, but government leaders chose to do nothing. There's nothing we can do for the Jews, they said. We have to concentrate on winning the war. With all due respect to these leaders, could there have been some discrimination on their part? Maybe a prejudice against others because of their religion, race, or skin color? This must stop. The late President John F. Kennedy once said, "If we cannot end now our differences, at least we can help make the world safe for diversity. For in the final analysis, our most basic common link is that we all inhabit this small planet. We all breathe the same air. We all cherish our children's future, and we're all mortal." Over the many years I've been speaking in public, mainly to students your age, my message is always the same. You don't have to love everyone, but everyone deserves to be treated fairly. Genocide starts when some people think that they're better than others. It's those others, they say, who are the cause of all these bad things happening in the world. They don't deserve fair treatment. That was Hitler's message. He might be gone, but that terrible belief lives on wherever people are oppressed. So, when you see a bully do something, go get help. 3 kids willing to stand up to one bully can stop that bully cold. You can make a difference, not just in school, but in the entire nation. In just a few years, I tell young people, you'll be old enough to vote. That will give you the power to make a big difference in society. And she's right. As the years go by, I have shared that message in classes where the teachers themselves were once students I had spoken to. Now those teachers are passing this message along to their students. Perhaps one day their students will become teachers and pass the message along to yet another generation. And perhaps you too, dear reader, will be one of those with the courage to stand up for the innocent. Be an upstander, not a bystander. Woo, it gives me chills. I highly recommend it. You guys come check it out.